Welcome to Zambi0. What do you regret finding out? My mother died in a car accident when I was 3. I found out from a newspaper article years later that it was her fault. She wasn't paying attention and crossed the yellow line and ended both her life and that of the person in the other car. That my best friend took her own life. She told me she was moving and gave me all her stuff because she said she had a furnished room where she was going. I hadn't heard from her in a while and she never answered my texts, so I looked up her name to see if she had an accident. Nope, it was suicide. The kicker is she had talked me out of it back in 2014 and I wasn't able to be there for her. That my mother knew she had cancer a year before she told anyone, or rather, a year before she was diagnosed, after I literally forced her to see a doctor for her then extremely distended stomach. I was under the impression that we told each other absolutely everything because up until that point, we did. I found out the truth a month after she died when I'd requested all of her cancer-related paperwork from her oncologist. I didn't meet my dad until I was 15. It was in secret since my mother wanted nothing to do with him. Within the first 3 sentences exchanged, he felt the need to tell me that I was conceived on a beach in July during the last time they had sex. I was the product of going away fucking a relationship doomed before my conception. He followed it up with we were good at 2 things, me and your mom. Fighting and fucking. Unfortunately we were fighting more than we were fucking, so it stopped being worth it. 10 years later and this is still how I get my family history. Mom telling me on regular basis when depressed that she wishes she would fall asleep and never wake up. Don't tell a 6-year-old this, damn. My dad informed me when I got back from Iraq that I was the reason he and my mother got a divorce. I never really wanted to join the military anyways, and it fucked me up big time. They had financial troubles and my mom sent me care packages quite a lot. Apparently, that put them into bankruptcy, and if I hadn't joined it wouldn't have happened. I just wanted to get out of that house, because it was like I didn't exist. Edit, I've never received this much support regarding this issue. Thank you. For the first time I think I really believed it when I told myself it wasn't my fault. I'm smiling so hard through the tears. Seriously, thank you. Edit, thanks for the award. I read every comment, even though I didn't reply to all. I'm so seriously happy right now, and I don't feel like I deserve to be at all, but hell, I'll take it. Found out my girlfriend told my parents I was extremely suicidal, and they responded, so? What do you want us to do about that? And they never brought it up again. Few months after they kicked me out for textbook depression, I found out my mom cashed out my Upland program that froze college tuition prices for me at cost of 1991 pricing my grandmother set up and put money in. She used the $25,000 in it to pay off eyes from problems she incurred due to drug addiction. It's something that my parents regret not telling my brother at an early age. He's adopted. Edit, everything it's fine nowadays. Parents who want to adopt in the future, be kind and don't lie for your own safety. Edit and egg 2. My parents are fine. I just don't know how to properly speak/write in English. My brother was adopted, and he was told from the moment he could understand he had a different mum when he was born, but she couldn't look after her, so he came to us. As he got older more info was supplied, but there was never a moment he was back told. He always knew. I remember when he was about 1, he was in the pool with dad and he said, "Does that mean I was adopted?" And dad said yes. My adopted brother says, "Well then you are not my real dad and can't tell me what to do." My dad, bless him, replies, "I have a will. If I die it says this house and everything I own will be divided up and given to my kids. Every kid gets the same amount and you are named as one of those kids." My adopted brother never raised the issue again. Edit, thanks for the silver and the gold for a comment below. When I was about 14 my mom took me to a tattoo shop to get her nipples pierced. While the procedure was happening, she turned to me and said, "Your dad bites harder than that." I could have lived without that info. That my ex-wife fucked my best friend just after we separated and while I was drowned in depression. That rap in for Jesus was faked. Edit. Sorry for ruining it for everyone. Like it was ruined for me. Although I think we can all agree the pastor got BARZ. Finding out my father figure, mom's BF, is sexually attracted to me. Even more so, since I gave birth. My brother's girlfriend's NSFW Reddit account. It's supposed to be a couple's account. So you might guess the horrors I saw in there. I regret just finding out that my brother found out about my girlfriend's NSFW account. After we broke up, I found out my ex had been online looking for a sugar daddy only 3 months into our 12-month relationship. I thought the whole time she was genuine. Turns out most of the time she was lying to my face. She broke up with me and started fucking her sugar daddy she had found 2 months before she dumped me. About my mom fucking my cousin. Woke up in the middle of the night hearing her say his name. Haunting point editing to grandpa's brother's son. Learning from my sister that my father told her that my mom's mom was not paralyzed from the waist down because she fell off a fence. It is that she was beaten so badly by the man she was seeing at the time. Just how close my pilonidal cyst, a hole that forms where your tail was as a fetus, was to making contact with my spine. I had her open wound for a year because the first surgeon was a fucking joke and it ripped immediately and he told me to take sit baths to help it close up naturally. By the time 11 months later I got the second surgery it was apparently only millimeters from tunneling to my spine, which could have caused me infection or death. I wish I never knew how close it was. BC I'm terrified it's still tunneling on the inside, even though completely closed now on the outside. That my mother doesn't actually care for me, but uses me as material to show off how much of a good mother she is, and denies it by buttering me up to be more grateful about my life, really hurt. Just how disgusting of a human being I was and am. When I was a kid, I knew nothing. My mom is a single mother and she didn't take proper care of me. I took showers once a week or less, I was messy, I was ugly, it was bad all around. Other kids called me names, avoided me, bullied me, I never knew why. Once I grew up I realized just how bad it actually was. Today I'm aware of 2 things, where my childhood went wrong and that in 10 years I'll realize all the wrong things I'm today. Edit. Well this sure wasn't a comment I'd have expected to explode. I want to add some things here. My mother had her hands way too full. Our father died at the worst time possible. We were poor. She had my sister to push to faculty and me to elementary school. I don't blame her for what happened, and things are different today. I don't feel shame or pity for what I went through. There were far worse things that happened to me. The thing is, when I look back sometimes I think I was happier when I wasn't old enough to understand. So please, don't pity me. Life is better than it was before and most importantly, now it's only in my hands. That I'm not very smart. I'm not dumb or dim, but I've really had to come to terms with the fact that not only am I not the smartest man in the room, I'm probably damn near the stupidest. What tinnitus is? Now I can't stop hearing it, that my mom knew my stepfather was abusing me and did nothing. Edit. I wish I could respond to everyone but, to be honest I don't know that I have the emotional strength. This was a random comment that I did not expect to get much attention. Thank you to those who have given support and kind comments. Fuck you to those who have said I should have done something more as a 10-year-old kid, and I'm so sorry to those who have had to deal with the same thing. I wish I could fix it for everyone. I know that today has been painful reading everyone's comments and stories for me. I'm so sorry. I'm going to take a nap and turn off my notifications. I always blamed my best friend's erratic behavior on mental health issues until one day I found her passed out on my toilet and realized that her behavior always got erratic after bathroom visits. Unfortunately, she may have mental health issues, but an addiction to certain drugs was the reason for most of her behavior, the real reason why half of my dad's side of the family doesn't speak to us. My twin and I, were always told it was that they just weren't that close and also had some mental health issues, but we learned after my dad died the truth because no one on his side of the family came to the funeral. They opted to have their own. Turns out that my parents had trouble conceiving. This I knew. I also know me and my twin are IVF babies and we were born very premature. I'm talking 1 pound baby premature. Shortly after, my mom developed breast cancer. What I didn't know was that during this time my dad was also taking care of his sick mother, my paternal grandmother, as well as looking after his sick wife and 2 newborn premis. He ended up asking his brother to help look after their mother, since he'd been the one doing it, so he could care for his family more. Well, soon after my dad spent more time with us vs his mom, she took a turn for the worse and died. And my father's brother blamed him for abandoning the family and blamed my twin and I for the death of our grandmother. Because if we weren't born my mother wouldn't have gotten estrogen positive breast cancer, and also they were all very Catholic and IVF was a sin. I never met my grandmother. I'm named for her. But apparently an entire side of the family thinks it's mine and my sister's fault she's dead. Edit. Okay, I know this is a real cliche thing to do/say, but I did not expect so many replies and support and discussion about Warzone. And also I've never gotten a platinum before, so thank you.